This is the new Tank 500. It costs 328,000 ringgit and is one of the most interesting vehicles launched in Malaysia this year. The Tank 500 is basically the bigger brother of the Tank 300, which also comes with its own rugged style. It was launched in Malaysia before the 500 at 250,000 ringgit. Whichever you get, Tank SUVs are made to give you that capability to go anywhere, but with a cabin that is more outstanding than most traditional off-roaders. Simply put, what the Land Cruiser is to Toyota, the Tank 500 is to GWM, but at a fraction of the price, with a cabin that feels like a hotel room, but we'll get to that later. The Tank 500 is over 5 meters long, nearly 2 meters wide, and is really tall, measuring over 1.9 meters. Compared to a more common big SUV like the BMW X5, it is longer, taller, but not as wide. If big vehicles are your thing, you like the road presence, the high sitting position that makes you feel like you're operating a ship, you might want to check this out. It has a ground clearance of 224mm, comparable to all the pickup trucks, so obstacles, uneven roads, potholes won't be a problem for you. Its wading depth is claimed to be 800mm. On paper, it's higher than the Land Cruiser at 700mm and closer to the Range Rovers and pickup trucks at 800 to 900mm. So if KL turns into a network of streams and mini rivers after 5 hours of heavy rain, you'll be fine in this one. And all that is packaged into a body with big proportions and even bigger front grille. If you're wondering why this looks familiar to you, I think it's because it looks like the Dodge Rams in the US. The sheer size of the whole thing just announces its arrival. It stands out among normal cars like how a tall basketball player stands out among a sea of normal people. It's not the best looking car, that's always a very subjective matter, but I'm sure you guys can agree with me that it's not a bad looking car. Among all the features, this one always gets the whoa, and it's actually quite useful since the car is so tall. Every time you open the door, it pops out, walk away, it retracts. Makes you feel like entering a chariot or even a tank. Fortunately, it's more like a chariot than a tank inside here. Obviously, I don't know the cost of putting this together, but I think they've done quite a good job in making it look posh, appear and feel expensive. There are a lot of soft touch materials, the seats are Napa leather, there's massage functions for the front seats, and ventilation is even available for the rear seats. Armrest storage is super versatile and functional with lots of space. It even comes with a cooler function that chills your drinks. I recently went for a road trip and within the hour, the drink was already cold enough. It's loaded with features, so we're just beginning. There's a head-up display to monitor different things, the screen is responsive, the 360-degree camera displays are clear, and there are tons of off-road functions. There's even a button for you to activate the child lock system. You can even see the water level as you're driving through it. You also get a lot of off-road functions on the center console to lock the front diff, the rear diff, to engage the low ratio gearbox, and even a dial to control the different drive modes. What I really appreciate, it makes it very easy for you to access the functions that you would use often, like the auto hold, driver assistance, the cameras, and most importantly, for the aircon, so you don't have to go through the screen while you're driving. And this is a feature that I really like and appreciate. It's an expensive car feature that most expensive cars don't even offer. The only thing I'm not a fan of, and I'd say it's already nitpicking, is the design of the quilting, the design of the gear lever, and the stars in front of the front passenger. Aside from these three, the rest of the front section is all good. The second row is another experience. The seats can slide forward and back, can be reclined. The huge panoramic sunroof offers lots of natural light. There's a sunshade, controls for the front passenger seat, the air conditioning, and even the ventilated seats. Whether to use it with a driver or as a family car, it seems to offer all the right stuff that most cars up till today don't offer. I recently took this on a road trip with a friend and his family, and the second row easily accommodated 2 adults and a baby seat. It was shaded, cooling and spacious. No complaints from them. To get to the third row, you simply slide the second row forward. I've already pushed it all the way to the front, and this is how much space you have. I think it can easily accommodate 2 adults for a short road trip. It has cup holders, rear aircon vents, and if you need, even a power outlet at the back. On that same road trip, we had one seat up and the other seat folded. Even then, we were surprised how many things we managed to fit in. There are also 2 speakers back here, one on each side, so you won't be excluded from entertainment. Obviously, there isn't much space with the third row seats up, but once you fold them, there's nearly 800 litres of space. Similarly priced cars like the BMW X3, the Volvo XC60, the Mercedes GLB, or even the Hyundai Palisade aren't as big. With the seats folded flat, it isn't a flat floor, but you still get nearly 1,500 litres of space. I don't know about you, but I like the traditional look of having the spare wheel hanging on the tailgate. There's something macho and rugged about how it looks. And check this out. Soft close function, but only for the tailgate though. I've driven this outstation around town on a lot of highways, and there's not much to complain about this thing. I generally prefer my cars low to the ground, but I've really enjoyed this high sitting position. It helps with visibility, feels like you're at the center of everything, at the command of something big. And for something so tall, it actually feels more stable than it looks. The steering has a nice weight and feel to it, especially if you put the steering into sports mode. But if you're the type that likes a really light steering wheel, you can adjust it back to comfort or standard as well. I'm a little surprised. It's actually quite nice to drive. Because of its size, initially you do feel like you're literally driving a tank. But from my experience, I realized I got used to it quite quickly. Those who like to drive big cars so they don't get bullied, well, in this one, you're the bully. Everybody just gives way, nobody really dares to cut in front of you, and when you're behind a much smaller car, all they see in their rearview mirror is your big front grille. It's quite imposing. The Tank 500 is a hybrid with a 2-litre turbocharged engine and an electric motor to give a total of 346 horsepower and 648 Nm of torque. Even for a vehicle that weighs over 2.5 tons, 0 to 100 is still a decent 8 seconds. That's all on paper. In reality, it's not slow, as you have seen in our drag race at Sepang against the Land Cruiser with a bigger engine, but you gotta go full throttle and keep your foot planted. I think it would feel a bit more effortless if it had a slightly bigger engine. And I think people in Malaysia who spend this kind of money on such a big car would want a bit more grunt and growl. Brakes really well as well, as you have seen in our drag race. With a hybrid system, the Tank 500 allows you to drive briefly in EV mode in certain conditions. At standstill or during low-speed driving, it goes into EV mode, and this makes the car feel more responsive, accelerates smoother, and also gives you better fuel consumption. Speaking of fuel consumption, it's been alright for something this size. I've been doing around 11 to 12 litres per 100 kilometers on highways, going outstation, city driving around 12 to 13 litres per 100 kilometers. With a full tank, I've done around 430 kilometers with around 70 kilometers range remaining. And that was mostly from that road trip with my friend, driving within the speed limit with some city driving in between. This thing is nice on the highways. It's what we call a mile muncher in automotive terms. It makes it easy for you to drive long distances in it. It's big, you feel superior, the cabin feels open, it's quiet, seats are comfortable. You won't even want to rush. Just cruise, enjoy the sound system, turn on the massage function. So the Tank is built on a leather frame chassis, just like the Toyota Land Cruiser. So it's a body on frame, unlike most cars which are monocoque constructions. This is usually to allow the car to be more robust, more durable, handle heavy loads and rough off-road terrains. The side effect is that you feel some vibrations, but somehow in the Tank 500, they've managed to dilute it, dial it down a lot. You feel it, but it doesn't shake you up like a cocktail. Hand on my heart, this is one of the more comfortable leather frame vehicles I've ever experienced. If you've been in a pickup, any pickup, you'd know that it vibrates a lot more. If you ask me, in terms of ride comfort, this isn't very much different from those big Conti SUVs on hard suspension. So if you can accept those, you probably won't be too bothered with this. It's a really hardy thing though. My fondest memory of the Tank 500 was when we were in China at GWM's test track. There was an instructor driving us in this Tank 500 around a big course with different obstacles, and one of the obstacles was a staircase, a flight of at least 10 steps. And I remember it was driving at around 40-50 kilometers an hour, didn't slow down and just boom, up the staircase. We were all impressed and speechless. And he did that round after round, carrying different media, different influencer, and came back without any issues. Those guys came back completely stunned. Overall, what you pay versus what it offers, I think it's quite impressive and intelligent as well. You get all sorts of extensive 4x4 off-road functions at your fingertips. You can do the tank turn, something no off-roader or pickup can do. The camera systems are intuitive. They come on just at the right time. The displays are clear enough, which is important for such a big car. There are many different angles to help the parking process, but if you really can't, the Tank can even park itself. It's huge, but it fits alright into parking lots. Now at 328,000 ringgit, the Tank 500's ability and offerings is so much more than any other car of the same price. But as I've always said in the last 10 years of reviewing cars, no car is perfect, and this one isn't either. Areas where it can improve on, I think it would be nice if it can stay in EV mode a little longer when driving at low speeds. It would be nice if it can be even more comfortable, especially when you have an interior like this. Gearbox perhaps can be a little smoother, and in terms of design, I think the headlamp design doesn't really match the exterior of the car. I think you can agree with me that a lot of people who spend 300,000 ringgit on a car, value isn't their main priority. It can be a cardboard box with a BMW or Mercedes badge with stools inside, and somehow people will still buy it. But it's hard to deny. The kind of stuff that you get from the Tank 500, the commanding presence on the road, you get all the expensive car stuff for far less. I actually quite like it. At 328,000 ringgit, the Tank 500 is by no means a cheap car. But if you look around, you look at it objectively, I think you'd realize that at this price range, there is nothing that comes close to it in terms of what it can do and what it offers all in one. In some areas, it offers even more than cars of the same price. Based on that, I guess you can say it created its own category. It's in a league of its own. It will serve you well as a family car, as a city car, but when the roads end, it will keep going. Currently, for similar features and capabilities, you're looking at a Recon Land Cruiser that starts anywhere from 450 to 600,000 ringgit. A Range Rover, even more expensive. If you're after the heritage and history of those things, I got nothing to say. But if you're looking to try something new, something different, to also stand out, the Tank 500 is definitely an interesting one. For more information on the new Tank 500, log on to AutoBuzz.my. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications on our newest videos.